In the quiet town of Elderville, nestled between misty hills and dense forests, a peculiar item appeared at an old thrift store. Mrs. Gladys, the owner, couldn't recall where the vintage TV set came from, but its charm was undeniable. Curious townsfolk gathered around, eyeing the antique with a mix of fascination and wariness. It wasn't long before Mr. Harold, a retired librarian, decided to purchase the TV for his dusty attic. Once plugged in, the screen flickered to life with an eerie blue glow, showing static that seemed to whisper. Harold laughed it off, chalking it up to old electronics being finicky. That night, the TV's static transformed into a clear image of a 1950 seconds family sitcom. The laughter of the actors echoed through the house, oddly cheerful yet slightly unsettling. As days passed, Harold noticed the sitcom changed every night without him touching the remote. Intrigued, he started watching the nightly shows, finding comfort in their predictability. One evening, the sitcom took a bizarre turn. The characters seemed to acknowledge Harold's presence. They waved at him, their eyes following him around the room. Harold chuckled nervously, dismissing it as a trick of the mind. But the next night, the TV showed something entirely different, a live feed of his living room. He saw himself on the screen, sitting in his armchair, the TV casting an unnatural glow. Panic set in as Harold realized the feed was delayed by only a few seconds. He turned off the TV, but the screen persisted, showing his frantic attempts to disconnect it. Desperation gave way to fear as he unplugged the device, yet the image remained. Harold covered the TV with a heavy blanket and fled the room, heart pounding in his chest. That night, he dreamt of the TV's static engulfing his home, the blue glow seeping through every crack. The next morning, Harold found the blanket neatly folded beside the TV, which was now off. Shaken, he decided to move the TV to his basement, hoping distance would dull its presence. For a while, life returned to normal, with Harold avoiding the basement altogether. However, one stormy night, the power went out, and the familiar blue glow emanated from beneath the basement door. Armed with a flashlight, Harold descended the stairs, the beam cutting through the thick darkness. The TV flickered on, showing a montage of old family videos. His family. Tears welled up in Harold's eyes as he watched his younger self, his late wife, and their children playing in the backyard. Memories flooded back, mingling joy with profound sorrow. The screen transitioned to show Harold's wife, smiling warmly as she waved at the camera. The sight was too much to bear, and he collapsed to his knees, sobbing. In his grief, Harold felt a hand on his shoulder, gentle and familiar. He turned to find nothing but empty air. Yet the touch remained comforting. Days turned into weeks, and Harold found solace in watching the old videos, feeling closer to his lost loved ones. The haunting presence of the TV became a bittersweet companion, bridging the gap between past and present. One day, Harold invited his neighbor, young Timmy, to help clean the basement. Timmy was fascinated by the TV, drawn to its vintage charm. Curious and unafraid, Timmy turned on the TV, laughing at the grainy images of cartoons that appeared. Harold watched with a smile, the boys' laughter a balm to his weary soul. As they spent more time together, Timmy and Harold formed an unlikely bond, the TV a centerpiece of their friendship. They shared stories, laughter, and the occasional tear, the haunting presence now, a comforting background hum. One afternoon, as Timmy was flipping through the channels, they stumbled upon a peculiar show. It featured a puppet, lively and colorful, telling jokes that had them both in stitches. The puppet's antics were so ridiculous that even the somber Harold couldn't help but laugh until his sides ached. The TV, once a source of fear, had become a fountain of unexpected joy. However, one evening, the TV showed a scene of a graveyard, and Harold's wife appeared again, now speaking directly to him. Her message was simple: it was time to let go. With a heavy heart, Harold understood that the TV had brought him closure he never thought possible. He thanked the TV, feeling an inexplicable connection to the machine. The next morning, Harold decided to donate the TV back to the thrift store, believing it had served its purpose. Mrs. Gladys was surprised but accepted it, placing the TV in the window display. As Harold walked away, he felt lighter, his steps filled with newfound hope. Timmy waved goodbye, promising to visit often, their friendship a beacon of light in Harold's life. The TV, now back in the store, awaited its next owner, its screen dark but full of potential. Elderville continued its quiet existence, unaware of the extraordinary events that had transpired. In time, the story of the haunted TV became a local legend, a tale whispered among children and adults alike. The TV, with its blend of horror, humor, and heartache, had left an indelible mark on those who encountered it. And so, the vintage TV sat in the thrift store, a silent sentinel, ready to bring its unique magic to the next curious soul. Its story, far from over, continued to weave through the lives of Elderville's inhabitants, a testament to the enduring power of memory and connection.